I'm Zelle. I've been in the tech industry for more than a decade now. So I did a lot of hands-on coding and planning, designing, debugging, and optimizations. I did work on developments and even databases, architecture. I also managed a team and projects before. And then I started my digital nomad journey more than 3 years ago. And now I'm doing a little bit of everything. So today I will share to you collaboration tools for developers and or digital nomads. And so for the past year, we experienced great shift when it comes to our culture. So a lot of companies were forced to adjust to the circumstances. So today, majority of us have adapted to the new normal. Diba? So Mark Lobosco, the VP of Talent Solutions ng LinkedIn said, now that companies have built the framework and experienced the cost and time savings associated with it, there's no real reason to turn back. So with the pandemic, it has changed yung work environment natin. And now that we experience a different kind of work setup and environment, we know that we won't totally go back to the way we were before. So let me ask you, based dun sa experience nyo of working from home, what does your dream workplace look like? Yan. So for me, it's where I don't need a digital background during online meetings. So I want to work anywhere as long as there's an internet connection and there's yung power outlet where I can connect my devices. Yan, di ba? So one of my goals is to work in the middle of the Bahamas. But ngayong nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic, a lot of us experience working from home. But even before pandemic, pre-pandemic period, yung work from home culture is already on the rise. Yan. So this is a survey done by United States Census Bureau. So between the year 2000 and 2010, there's an increase in the number of people who worked at least one day at home per week. So from 9.2 million, naging 13.4 million yung mga nag-work from home or working remotely. So one of the benefits ng mga companies especially in the Bay Area is working from home. So a lot of them hindi sila pumapasok every day. So, probably 3 days a week. Tapos, yung 2 days, other days, work from home na. And some of the benefits of working from home, di ba, na there's less commute time, location independent. So, anywhere you are, you can do your work. And another thing is yung customizable office. You can work dun sa space na suited sa comfortability mo. You can work either kahit makalat yung desk mo or you want it neat. You can customize your office. We also can save more resources when it comes to time and yung cost din since wala ngang commute time. And there's more freedom with our time, especially for women. So, sabi ni Sarah Maskov na tech should be a really great job for women and families. You just need a computer and you don't always have to be in the office. So, for women, di ba, at some point in our lives, we're going to transition na when we start a family na dodoble yung responsibilities. And it's a challenge to balance yung career and family time. But in the tech industry, it's very accommodating for women who are transitioning to having families. Kasi nga, hindi naman kailangan na laging present sa office. But you just need, yun nga, computer and and yung connectivity, and then you can do your work already. So how does this new setup affects team collaboration? So let us look at the collaboration process. Diba? So first is yung invitation is when we invite people who will be part of our project. And then next is the conversation. This is where the brainstorming, planning, and requirements gathering will happen. There's a lot of discussions here. Then next is decisions. When we set our goals, when we set yung vision natin for the project and the plans, and then after that is the implementation process where we manage, di ba, yung mga task na natatapos. But this is just a rough overview of the collaboration process. And a lot of the steps under each stages are done face to face. But with the challenges that we are facing these days and with the new work setup, a lot of those steps has to be done online also. And there are processes that we cannot do the way we do it before. So we need to bridge the gap dun sa mga processes na yon. So that's where our topic for today will come in. So if you heard yung saying na there's an app for that and let machines do their work, 'di ba? Kasi um what we want is to finish our work or to be productive na without doing a lot of manual labor. So to help us speed up our processes and minimize manual labor, we need to use the right tools. So most of you are probably already using the tools that I will mention here. But more than the tools, I want to put emphasis on the process of using them and the reason behind why we are using such tools. Yan. So let me start with communication tools. Yan. So most of this nagagamit natin every day, 'di ba? With the team meetings and communications. So these are essential tools that we need, especially if we are doing remote work. If we are doing yung remote collaboration with our teams, we need to be available most of the time, especially during if you have a definite work hours. You need to be reachable through these channels. So these tools, may mga tools akong mention na mag-overlap with other categories because these days the apps that we have are multi-functional. It doesn't just serve one purpose, but we can use it on a lot of other processes also. So here, yeah, we see mga chat tools and video conferencing tools, even mail. And especially sa email din, ba we communicate yung mga urgent matters. Ayan, so next is storage. Ayan, storage, cloud storage. We need to back up our files in the cloud if we want to share it with our team. So we want our files to be yung real-time yung updates ng files natin, and we don't want to have conflicts dun sa content ng file with the other members of the team. If changes are made by other people, we want to see yung records of those changes. So here are some of the available storage services that we have now we can use. So I think most of you are familiar with these providers. Yan. Next is yung files and documents. So ito, a lot of our documents has to be synced then, especially yung mga data na dapat real time makikita yung changes. And if we have a lot of manuals or yung project requirements, proposals, pitch documents, this is the tools that we can use. So as you can see, we have the Google Docs, Google Spreadsheet, and the presentations. Tapos Dropbox, Paper, Coda, Quip, and Airtable. So, yan. As you can see, wala yung mga names nung ano, no, nung products, logos lang. So, let's see if you can recognize these logos. Next, yung knowledge base wiki. So here, ito yung mga, it's similar, it's a bit similar to the documents, but this provides a more complex structure of files. So meron kasi dito yung mga, ito na yung knowledge base contents, na if we want a more structured and more formatted contents, we can use these services. So we have Slab, the Bit AI, Notion, and then Confluence, Light Help, Juice, and Team. This one I forgot. What's the name? Yeah, it's also a knowledge base wiki. Yeah, so online whiteboard. So these online whiteboard tools are used for brainstorming. During face-to-face meetings, diba, we use whiteboards, physical whiteboards where we can visually explain or visually present yung ideas natin. But during online meetings, it's a bit challenging. But these tools can allow us to express ideas and to map out yung mga strategies or plans or even designs that we want to discuss with our team. So we can use it during yung brainstorming sessions. Yan. So next is, diba, part of the development process is the design and prototyping. So this stage, we want to see yung magiging output ng project natin, and it allows us to present and to allow us to present to our customers then yung project na gagawin natin, to avoid yung misunderstandings. Kasi minsan sa requirements, pag textual lang, pwedeng magkaroon ng misinterpretation. But this design and prototyping tools will help us visualize the final product. Yung kanina, I think, there's a discussion about design thinking. So you may ask Miss Josan to yung mga ginagamit niyang tools for her process then. Yeah, this version control. So most of us, if you are writing codes, you're familiar with this version control. So this is the Google source repository, GitHub, GitLab, Assembla, and Bitbucket. So these are our online repositories that we can use to commit yung mga changes natin sa projects natin. So this is to sync din yung yung lahat ng updates ng member of the dev team. And it allows us then to resolve conflicts, especially if two members of the team modify the same files. This will help us to track lahat ng changes and lahat ng conflicts and to resolve them and to see yung progress when it comes to the code base. So here are some of this continuous integration and continuous deployment tools, diba? This is one of the important things na pwede na kailangan nating gamitin in order for us to see yung the builds that we have. Kasi usually iba yung test, magkaiba yung staging instance natin, and then magkaiba yung testing instance and the production instance. So these tools will help keep track of those instances and yung mga releases na available on those instances. So sometimes during the testing phase, we have different releases for each um, type of test. Like if you're doing stress test or black box testing or even yung usability testing, sometimes we need the different release or versions for those stages. So these tools will help us see kung anong instance yung presently or anong version yung presently being used at a certain instance. Yeah, next, these are some of the project management tools. So Asana, Jira, Trello, ClickUp, Rike, Monday.com, and Smartsheet. So these are tools that we can use to see yung mga task na natatapos, yung progress ng project. And this is not just exclusive for developers but even for other stakeholders sa project. So this is very important, especially for the people managing the teams and people who wants to see kung anong stage na yung project. So this is very helpful, especially when it comes to tracking yung deadlines and yung mga task na kailangan pang gawin and task na natapos na and sino yung assigned to do that task. Yan. Yan. So, ngayon, I presented a lot of different tools, but there are so many other tools pa available that we can use. With all of those tools available, how do we know what tools to use? So here are some tips on how to choose the right tool. So first is you have to find tools that suit your needs and processes. Not all tools are applicable for your methodologies. So you have to find those tools that supports yung needs nyo. Kasi pwedeng top one nga yung isang tool but then it's not fitted. It's not fit for the way you do things. So it won't increase din yung productivity on your end. So you have to find one that suits your needs and your processes. Next is explore, compare, and evaluate. So, because there's a lot of available tools out there, try to explore and compare yung mga products and services and to see kung alin dun yung pinaka-okay sa team nyo. Third is consider the cost. Yan. So, the cost, sometimes you're paying too much for a tool that you don't use that much. So you have to see din yung usability and gano'n nyo siya kadalas ginagamit. Utilization factor. You don't want to spend a lot on something na hindi naman ganun ka-useful for your team. So, yan, one of the considerations. Next is you choose usability and simplicity. Better yung minimalist, but then it allows you to do a lot of things in a few clicks na hindi mahirap i-navigate and then madaling matutunan, hindi steep yung learning curve. Next is assess the impact on productivity. After some time, if that tool does not really help or does not improve yung productivity and output, then maybe you need to look for other tools that are more helpful for you. And so how to have an effective online collaboration? Since tools are just tools and they don't really improve yung process and the methodologies. They just help speed up the processes. But sometimes other factors affect yung collaboration natin. Na if we are using a cutting edge technology, if we don't have yung best practices, then it won't affect much our productivity. So here are some tips to a successful collaboration. One is you have to communicate proactively. You might be using like three or more than two um, messaging channels, but if you're not available or you're not responding to your team members, you're not being transparent with with what's happening on your end, then it's not useful, 'di ba? So important thing is we have to communicate proactively with our team. We have to keep them updated and in sync with the progress that we are making. Next is we have to set clear goals and expectations. So ito, without the vision or without an end goal, we're just going to do a lot of different things. And minsan, sa sobrang daming tool din na ginagamit natin, hindi natin alam kung saan tayo magsa-start. Like, when you start the day, ano bang una mo i-open na tool? Because there's no clear goal na, and you don't know the process. And so, it's confusing how to proceed with the things that we are doing. Yeah, next is define roles and responsibilities. Ayun, this is related from the previous explanation na sinabi ko. It is important that we know ano yung expectations natin, ano yung role natin. So we know ano yung asan ano yung pinaka-kailangan nating tool with the responsibilities that are given to us. 4 is organize the process. If there's no seamless or there's no organized way of doing things, then yun, magulo din, and we don't know how um, to proceed to the final output. So it's important na the process is smooth, and there's na communicate ng mabuti yung process, and everyone is complying with those processes. Yeah, and fifth is we have to invest in best practices. Kasi even if we have yung modern technologies na ginagamit natin, but if we don't have good habits, especially, di ba, when it comes to development, we need to have a clear plan. Pero some people, they just go code agad immediately without documenting the process. So it's best to invest in best practices kasi the tools will just help use na to do the processes or the practices efficiently. But these practices, ito magre-reflect to with how we use our tools. Yan. So, sixth is meet our deadlines. So it's important that we are on time, that we don't miss our deadlines kasi yung some people are dependent on our outputs. Yung task nila are dependent on the things that we deliver. So it's best that we always be on time with our deliverables. Yan. So lastly, ito, technology you use impresses no one. The experience you create with it is everything. So tools are just tools, and hindi naman masyadong nagma-matter 'di ba? Ano yung ginamit mong tool? But what matters is the final product that you present with the tools that you use. And it's especially yung experience nga as you do or as you go through the process of development and working with other people. Yeah. So here are some of the some of my digital nomad adventures. So this was, I traveled a lot before I got married, and I work everywhere. I just bring my laptop as long as there's internet connection. Sometimes I just use mobile data. But as long as I am connected, then I can do my work anywhere. So this is one of the perks of working remotely or working anywhere. Kasi you can choose nga a comfortable place, a relaxing place as you do your work. Yan. So because I want my office to be wherever I feel like hanging out that day. So as I end, I want to share this quote from Matt Mullenweg, which is the CEO of Automatic and co-founder of WordPress. Sabi niya, technology is best when it brings people together. So tools are there to bridge the gap between people and between team members. It helps us to collaborate more and to come up with the best product or service available. So it's not dependent, yung end goal natin is not to use the best tools, but to deliver the best product with the tools that we have. Yan. So that's it for my talk, and I hope you learn something. You learn something um, meaningful with what I've shared.